You're sitting across from someone, maybe a friend, maybe a lover, maybe a coworker, and something feels off, not wrong enough to walk away. Not obvious enough to call out. Just off. Like a song playing slightly out of tune. You can't name it. But your body already knows. And then they open their mouth. And they ask you a question. Not a statement. Not a confession. A question. And something in your chest tightens. Here's what nobody ever told you: liars don't just lie with words. The smartest, most dangerous ones. They lie with questions. They ask you things that sound innocent, even caring, but underneath? Underneath, those questions are psychological traps. Weapons disguised as curiosity. And over 100 years ago, a half-mad German philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche saw this coming. He didn't have social media. He didn't have therapy TikTok. He didn't even have reliable electricity. But the man looked into the darkest corners of human nature. The manipulation, the cowardice, the hunger for power, and he described it all with terrifying precision. So today, we're taking 6 of the most dangerous questions liars ask, and we're running them through the mind of Nietzsche. Not to make you paranoid, but to make you untouchable. Because once you see it, you can never unsee it. Stick with me till the end, because question 6 is the one most people fall for their entire lives without ever realizing it. And I'll be featuring my favorite comment from the last video at the very end, so don't tap out early. Let's go. Question 1, why are you making this such a big deal? Let's start with this one, because if you've ever been lied to, you've heard this. Maybe not in these exact words. Maybe it was asterisk, why are you so sensitive? Asterisk or asterisk, can't you take a joke? Asterisk or asterisk, you're overthinking it. Asterisk, different packaging. Same poison. You caught them. You confronted them. And instead of facing what they did, they turned the spotlight on you, on your reaction. On your tone. On the fact that you're upset at all. Nietzsche had a word for people like this. He called them ressentiment personalities, people who, instead of taking responsibility for their actions, redirect their guilt outward as blame. They can't stand the mirror. So they shatter it, and then blame you for the broken glass. Think about what this question actually does. It doesn't deny the lie. It doesn't explain the behavior. It does something far more sinister, it puts you on trial. Suddenly you're not talking about what they did. You're defending how you feel about what they did, and the moment you start defending your emotions, they've already won the room. Nietzsche wrote in Beyond Good and Evil, asterisk, the most common form of human stupidity is forgetting what one was trying to do. Asterisk, that's exactly what this question makes you do. Forget your original point. Forget the lie. Forget everything except proving that you're not overreacting. Here's the truth, your reaction is not the problem. Their action is. And a person with genuine integrity, someone who made a mistake and actually feels bad about it, their first instinct is not to question your feelings. Their first instinct is to say asterisk, I'm sorry. You're right. Asterisk. So the next time someone asks you why you're making it such a big deal, pause. Take a breath. And say nothing. Because silence is often the most powerful answer to a manipulator's question. Let them sit in it. Let them squirm. You don't owe them a calmer reaction. You owe yourself the truth. Question 2, do you even know who I am to you? This one is subtle. Dangerously subtle. It comes dressed in the language of relationship. Of history. Of all the times they were there for you. Asterisk, after everything I've done for you. Asterisk asterisk, I thought we were closer than this. Asterisk asterisk, do you even know what I mean to you? Asterisk. It's an appeal to loyalty, used as a weapon. Nietzsche absolutely dissected this move. He called it the slave morality tactic. When someone can't win on truth, they win on guilt. They remind you of the debt, the history, the emotional investment. Not because they care about the relationship, but because they know the relationship is the one thing that can make you stand down. This question is designed to do one thing: make you feel like holding them accountable is a betrayal, like the real problem isn't their lie. The real problem is that you don't value them enough to let it slide. But here's what Nietzsche understood about power dynamics: the moment you let someone use your love for them as a reason to accept their dishonesty, you haven't saved the relationship. You've surrendered yourself inside of it. Real relationships don't come with immunity from accountability. Real love doesn't say asterisk, you owe me silence because of how much I mean to you. Asterisk. If anything, the closer someone is to you, the higher the standard should be. Because proximity without integrity isn't closeness. It's just controlled access. So when someone pulls this card, when they make you feel like calling out a lie is the same as abandoning them, remember what Nietzsche said, asterisk, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Asterisk. You holding your standard doesn't make you disloyal. It makes you dangerous, to everyone who was counting on your silence. Question 3, what exactly do you want me to say? Pay close attention here, because this one sounds almost reasonable. They look at you with wide eyes. Maybe a little frustration. Maybe a little helplessness. And they say, asterisk, I don't even know what you want from me. What do you want me to say? Asterisk. And a part of you thinks, asterisk, okay, maybe I should tell them. Maybe they're confused. Maybe they genuinely don't know how to respond, asterisk. Stop. That's the trap. Because a person who genuinely doesn't know how to respond to hurting you, they lead with asterisk, I'm sorry. Asterisk, full stop. That's the default. That's what a human being with a functioning conscience does first. They apologize, and then they figure out the rest. What do you want me to say? Asterisk is not confusion. It's a request for a script. They want you to hand them the words so they can perform remorse without actually feeling it. So they can check the apology box, close the conversation, and go back to doing exactly what they were doing. Nietzsche talked about this in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. The difference between a true transformation and a performance of transformation. He was obsessed with authenticity. With people who become better versus people who merely appear better when it's convenient. This question exposes which category someone belongs to. Because here's what a liar actually hears when you confront them, asterisk, I've been caught. What's the minimum I can say to end this? Asterisk and asterisk, what do you want me to say? Asterisk is them outsourcing even that to you. Don't write their script. Don't fill their silence with instructions. Look them in the eye and say, asterisk, I want you to say whatever is honest. Asterisk, and then watch what happens. Watch the panic. Watch the deflection. Watch them reach for anything that isn't the truth. That reaction tells you everything your gut was already trying to say. Question 4, can't we just move forward? Now we're getting to the really crafty ones. Because this question doesn't sound like manipulation. It sounds like maturity. It sounds like someone who's tired of conflict, who wants peace, who believes in growth over grudges. And that's exactly why it works. Can't we just move forward? Asterisk is what a liar says when they've realized they can't win the argument, so they try to end the argument. Not by resolving it. Not by taking responsibility. Just by declaring it over. It's the emotional equivalent of flipping the Monopoly board and saying the game is done. Nietzsche had zero patience for this. He wrote extensively about what he called the will to power, and not in the way most people misunderstand it. He didn't mean domination. He meant the drive to grow, to face hard things. To build something stronger through difficulty rather than bypassing the difficulty altogether. Can't we just move forward? Asterisk is the opposite of that. It's the will to avoid, the will to keep things comfortable at the cost of keeping things honest. And here's the insidious part: if you agree, if you say, okay, fine, let's move forward, you haven't actually moved forward. You've moved sideways, you've swept the wound under the rug and called it healing. But unaddressed wounds don't heal. They fester, and 6 months later, when the same behavior happens again, and it will, you'll have no ground to stand on, because you already agreed to close the case. Moving forward is beautiful. But moving forward requires both people to agree on what actually happened first. Accountability isn't the obstacle to peace. It's the foundation of it. So when someone asks you to just move forward, look at them and say, asterisk, I'd love to. Tell me what you're moving forward from. Asterisk. Question 5. Why do you always assume the worst about me? This one hits different, because it often comes from the people closest to us. And it's wrapped in something that sounds like hurt, like vulnerability, like they're the wounded party. Why do you always assume the worst? Asterisk. First, notice the word always. That's not an accident. Liars love extreme language because it shifts the conversation from this specific incident to your general character as a person. Suddenly we're not talking about what they did last Tuesday. We're talking about a pattern in you, your cynicism, your distrust, your inability to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's a masterclass in redirection. Nietzsche wrote about this, the weaponization of asterisk pity. Asterisk he argued that pity, when used strategically, is one of the most powerful tools of manipulation in human relationships. Because most decent people, when they see someone appear to be hurt, immediately soften. Immediately wonder if they caused the pain. Immediately begin to self-correct. And a skilled liar knows this. So they perform hurt. Strategically. Specifically at the moment when accountability is getting too close. The truth is, you're not assuming the worst. You're responding to evidence. There's a massive difference between paranoia and pattern recognition. Paranoia is fear without data. Pattern recognition is intelligence built on repeated observation. And when someone asks why you always assume the worst, what they're really asking is, asterisk, why do you keep noticing what I keep doing? Asterisk. Here's your answer, asterisk, because I pay attention. Asterisk. That's it. You don't owe them a longer explanation. You don't owe them a reassurance that you see the best in them. You pay attention. And attention is not a character flaw. It's self-respect in action. Question 6. Don't you think you've played a role in this too? Save your energy for this one. Because this is the most sophisticated weapon in a liar's arsenal. And it's the one that works on the smartest, most self-aware people in the room. Don't you think you've played a role in this too? Asterisk. It's clever because it contains a grain of truth. Because in most human conflicts, yes, both people play some role. Nobody is perfectly innocent. Relationships are messy. Communication is imperfect. We all have blind spots. And a liar banks on your self-awareness. They bank on the fact that you're honest enough, mature enough, introspective enough to hear that question and immediately start scanning yourself for fault. While they do none of that scanning at all. This is what Nietzsche called the inversion of values, when the honest person's virtues become the very things used to exploit them. Your self-reflection becomes their escape route. Your willingness to own your part becomes their way of never owning theirs. Yes, maybe you did play a role. Maybe your communication wasn't perfect. Maybe there were moments you could have handled differently. That might be entirely true. But here's the question you need to ask yourself, is this person asking me this because they genuinely want mutual accountability? Or are they asking because they know if they can get me looking inward, I'll stop looking at them? The test is simple. After you acknowledge your role, do they acknowledge theirs? Or do they take your admission and run? Building a case, shifting the balance, making it about your mistakes now. If it's the latter, you just watched someone use your integrity as a weapon against you. Nietzsche would tell you, to those who feel deeply, every injustice cuts twice, once when it happens, and again when they're made to feel responsible for it. You are allowed to own your imperfections and hold someone else accountable for theirs, simultaneously. Accountability is not a zero-sum game. One person's guilt does not erase another's. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. So let's bring this home. 6 questions. 6 traps. All of them dressed in the language of conversation, vulnerability, and relationship. All of them designed to do one thing: keep a liar safe from the one thing they fear most. The truth. Nietzsche spent his life warning us that the most dangerous people aren't the ones who attack you openly. They're the ones who make you doubt yourself quietly. The ones who turn your empathy into a liability. Your honesty into a weapon against you. Your desire for peace into a reason to accept chaos. But here's the part of Nietzsche most people never get to. He wasn't just warning us about liars. He was calling us to something higher. He wanted us to become people who are so grounded in our own perception of reality, so deeply rooted in our own truth, that manipulation simply has nowhere to land. Not because we're cold. Not because we stopped caring. But because we've done the work of knowing ourselves so thoroughly that no external voice can override that internal knowing. That's the Übermensch he was really describing. Not a superhuman. Not an emotionless robot. A person who has done the terrifying, beautiful, brutal work of becoming clear. Clear about what they see. Clear about what they feel. Clear about what they will and will not accept. And when you're that clear, a liar can ask all 6 of those questions back to back, and you'll sit there, calm as a Monday morning, and think, I see you. I know exactly what you're doing. And it won't work on me. That is the real power this video was built to give you. Not a list of tactics. Not a set of comebacks. A shift in perspective that changes how you walk into every room, every relationship, every conversation for the rest of your life. So if this hit you somewhere real today, share this video with someone who needs it. Because somewhere right now, someone is sitting across from a liar, hearing one of these 6 questions, and believing they're the problem. They need to see this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this channel exists for exactly this reason. To give you the psychological clarity that most people spend decades trying to find. Hit that subscribe button and come back for more. The comment of the day goes to the person who said, I watched your last video 3 times and still learned something new each time. Asterisk that right there is exactly why I make these. Thank you for seeing it that way. Come back sharper. And remember underscore. The truth doesn't need your protection. You do. I'll see you in the next one.